Welcome back to day 4 of the TCM Weaver Challenge. Today's topic, multiple term searches, organizing symptoms into patterns, herbs, and formulas. Doing multiple term searches is when we really start to flex the capabilities of the Weaver. Let's look. Suppose you have a patient who shows up with irritability and anxiety. We're going to go ahead and type those into our search bar. First thing to note is that the default search mode in the Weaver is AND. So our results will pull up answers that have both irritability and anxiety. They might not all show up in this little snapshot here because they could be buried further in the notes. If you wanted to look for something that dealt with irritability or anxiety, you need to type OR in, and you get a much bigger result. For those of you using the Itsy Bitsy Weaver, remember it won't be as dramatic a difference since you have access to a limited database. My screen shows everything. Let's get rid of that. It's good to know about this because we have a variety of terms that we use in Chinese medicine. So maybe you would want to look for irritability, anxiety, or worry, or something else, pensiveness. Just know that is an option when you're doing searches, and you can have fun playing around with that. Okay, we're going to look for patterns that might be associated with these two terms. So let's come down to layers. We're going to select pattern. We have 9 results, which isn't an overwhelming number, but sometimes you might have more results. And let's say you already know that you're dealing with heat. Well, we could narrow this even further by coming down to forces, and you can see all these different forces, and select heat. Now we're down to 3 results. So those are some different patterns you might be dealing with. Now, let's say you already have a formula picked out, but maybe you want to modify it because your patient has really strong irritability and anxiety. In this case, let's look for herbs that could help address that. I'm going to select herbs. Again, 9 results, not a huge number, but we know our patient has heat. So we want to go ahead and pick. We're going to come down to energetics. Let's pick a cool herb. Is there a really good cool herb that would work? Muli or Duan Muli. Now, let's say you could use anything from the neutral, cool, or cold herb categories. In that case, you might remember this from a prior video. We deselect hot and warm, and that leaves us with 7 results of herbs we could look at. And this does include the Pao Zhi. I'm going to show you another shortcut where you don't have to go and deselect every little button, clear every little button. To get back to your original search, you highlight the filters, hit delete, and now we're back to our original search. So the final thing we're going to do is try to find a formula that would work for someone dealing with irritability and anxiety. We're going to come down to formula. We have 14 results. Let's say you only want to look at the major formulas, then you can deselect related formulas. If you wanted, you could even come back down to forces and select heat, and that narrows it down to 3 formulas. I'm going to deselect this right now, though, because I want to show you one of the great things about working with the Weaver. I'm going to pull up Wendang Tong, Ding Zhi Wan, and Zhi Gan Cao Tong. If you look, you will see these are from 3 different formula categories. So this is great that you can get results from all across the spectrum of all the different formulas, whereas with the book you have to go look through every single chapter. But it's even more important because sometimes we get a little fixed in our thinking. You think, oh, irritability, anxiety, what Calm the Shen formula can I find? But there may actually be a formula from a different category that would be better suited to your patient. So that is how to use symptoms to find patterns, herbs, and formulas. If you've been posting daily, today, by either posting a screenshot or a takeaway, you will qualify for the Camo Herbs gift certificate drawing. You need 4 entries, and this is day 4. Remember to tag at TCM Weaver, include hashtag TCM Weaver Spiderweb in the caption, and follow at Camo Herbs to qualify. See you on day 5.